Conference has just finished, and we saw the women marching more or less 5 minutes from where they had gathered earlier on to the Methodist Connection offices in the same area in Bruma. Also, just very importantly, one of the things that they mentioned here today in the press conference is the fact that they would like equal representation for women within the church. Of course, saying that the Methodist Church has a leadership structure. Well, they call it the 40-40-20 structure, of which 40% should be men, 40% should be women, and the 20% being the youth of the church. But according to the women here today, that has not been happening. Those are just some of the demands that they're making. I'll just read out another one that they say is very important, and they would like this to happen more often than not. The fact that all policy documents should be reviewed to reflect adherence to the Book of Order. Of course, these are just some of the things that they want to happen at the church. We do understand also that they have confirmed that the Reverend has been suspended. Also, not going into detail about the investigations, because obviously there's protocol to be followed, and we also know that the Reverend has come under fire. We know that he might also lose some of the positions that he's holding. We do know that the Sonke Gender Justice also wants him to lose his job at the UKZN. Those are just some of the things that have happened here today. The women speaking very strongly against patriarchy, saying that they understand that patriarchy is something that affects every woman in a society. Also mentioning the fact that there's no place for such in the church. We saw the woman who was being spoken about in that said recording of the Reverend, and of course she wouldn't speak to us now, pending investigation, also citing the fact that she's a bit uncomfortable at the moment, but she looked really strong. The support, she says, when we spoke to her off camera, has been overwhelming, as well as the fact that she knows that this has to be an example that is set to all the other churches who also think that women do not have a place anyway in a society. Well, those are just some of the things that happened here today in Zinga, and that's what came out of the press conference. They do tell us that they'll wait patiently to hear the outcome of the investigations, and of course also ensure that their fight against patriarchy in the church is taken seriously, and that they find a breakthrough in ensuring that women have a place in the Methodist Church of Southern Africa, and not just that, in society as a whole.
Lopang, do they also speak about timelines perhaps, or how they want to see that integration and that equality taking place?
Well, they did mention that this year they would like the 2018 conference be implemented as a matter of urgency by electing women clergy as leaders at Connection. So we are here at the Methodist Connectional offices in Bruma. This is where they want women to be equally represented as well. So they say they want that change implemented this year. They did not cite the month, so we'll just have to wait and find out if ever they did get their demands, if their demands actually were met. And of course they said they'll keep in touch, they'll ensure that this is set as an example, and also saying that they've been quiet for far too long because the whole situation has been a norm to them for years and years. The women have not been on par with the men at the church. So these are some of the changes that they want to see implemented this year.
Lopang Alamo giving us an update from Johannesburg there.